Another day, the crypto market is staying above $1 trillion mark. Bitcoin right now is trying to move above $21,000 towards 22. Now, on the short term, we do recognize that this is a bull flag which is trying to break to the upside. And on a daily, we do see volume is here. We need to see a continuation pattern. But don't forget that the pattern itself is showing a measured move of 40 to 45%. That actually means you are looking somewhere above $25,000. Right now you are at 21, so you do have room to the upside. So in the market, you do see a lot of coins running crazy. You are literally watching every single day coins are moving 10, 20, 30% to the upside. Now it's not Bitcoin, it's the altcoins doing these big numbers. But when Bitcoin is actually doing this run up, you will observe a lot more coins following that with higher momentum. Now, when you go on the macro stuff, when you look at Bitcoin on the macro, you will actually identify that when we came back up and consolidated here, you got a lot of altcoins moving up. So when you see Bitcoin coming back into its resistance range and slow down to test that, that will be one of the biggest range where you observe altcoins running crazy. Now, you can look at first 100, the next 100, the next 100, and a lot of different coins based on the project itself. But the volume will guide you. If the market likes it, it's going to be interesting. We happen to actually look at different coins in same area in the crypto market. So if you are looking at the smart contracts, you are looking for like Cardano, Ether, Cosmos. You have various different projects there. And then you look at like, okay, what's the adoption rate like and how does the market react to that? Then you can literally look at the gaming side of this, the metaverse side of that, Gala, Sand, and other options there. Now, XRP, XLM, HBAR, Quant, the payment assets, then you happen to look at these. Now, at that point, you do understand the market is way bigger than a lot of people imagine. That means you are literally going to see a ton of new money coming into this market and the price action implementing that. So we are going to actually break this down in a way we understand, okay, what to expect. Because the way we explained here during last 3-4 months that we are anticipating that this can break to the upside and we expect the price to go all the way up to 25, and right now we broke to the upside. We may have a retest, but the direction is to the upside. Go add on your indicators. It does suggest you that what the RSI showed you before with the breakout here was true. The pattern did break to the upside. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Now, there are a lot of different assets which are breaking to the upside. There are a lot of different assets hitting those targets. So you look at the targeted move on a short term, so you understand where the resistance levels are. Because at these resistance levels is when you actually really see what the market is reacting to. Because the market actually reacts based on the historical data and whatever new news they actually get. So here for XRP, right now we are waiting to actually see if we can break to the upside, come back, retest and bounce. So we have a pattern here which looks actually valid. It's a rounded bottom pattern. It's short term, but it does actually show you XRP is trying to break that to the upside. Fine. Now, what's the measured move for this pattern? If this happened to bounce back up and show you like this is a breakout, XRP is expecting another 20% run up on the short-term chart because this is a 4-hour chart. So if you actually put that into the numbers, 22%, which means XRP is going to look somewhere close to 0.5. Now, that is the target which we were talking about for the next major resistance based on historical trend line. Now, we'll have to see what Bitcoin and the entire market is doing at that time when we reach that level. But the RSI does show us that it is moving higher. On the macro chart, on a 3-day or a weekly, XRP and the RSI for the XRP does show you like there is a higher odds that the price is going to go to the upside and test the 200-day moving average. We've been below the 200-day moving average from April 2022. Right now it's Jan 2023, so it's almost a year and you still haven't tested the 200-day moving average. Historically speaking, when you cross that below, you go back, you test that. We did not get that here. Right now, we are waiting for that. And at the same time, this asset we are looking at is against dollar. So you're actually looking at where dollar opened this week. It's still Sunday here, but the markets are opening on a Monday on the other side of the world. And you can literally observe that it is dropping. Dollar this week is dropping to the downside again as a continuation pattern. That means last week when the Dow Jones closed here, it is signaling that this week as it opens, most likely it's going to bounce to the upside. It's going to continue to the upside. Now, you go in, you can actually zoom in on a daily chart to see like, okay, what does that actually mean? The last candle in the price action terminology shows you a engulfing scenario, which means you are bullish. On a price action side of this, short term, macro, everything looks slowly bullish. Now, why slowly bullish? Because we did not yet get a breakout in all of these asset class. Some or few assets did break to the upside as we were actually talking through, looking at all of these different scenarios. It can be Cardano, Ether, Algo, Cosmos, Nia. A lot of these assets are actually competing in the same area. You can look for different assets, different asset classes, but you get the point of view. Now, when you are looking through all these assets, you'll have an idea of like, okay, this is breaking out and this is my target. And if you are keeping that target in mind, remember Bitcoin's target will play a major role in that target for the altcoin. If your target for Bitcoin is here, close to 26,000, when it actually reaches here and slows down, you will see the momentum shifting in the altcoins. One of the important things there is that you need to look at the dominant side of this. Now, when you are looking at the dominant side, you need to also look at it on the short term because that's a little bit more sensitive. Now, you see a lot of volatility here, but one of the major concern which we all have is that can we really break 43 mark? We were above 44 for some time during these volatile times, but we did not actually make it a real base here. We got a pattern, yes, a Adam and Eve pattern suggesting we are going to go higher. We did wick to the upside, but we did not actually get a continuation to the upside. Right now, it is suggesting that, okay, we may actually try and go further up, right? So we are waiting here to see if we get that move or not, because that range extends all the way up to 49-50% in the Bitcoin dominance. So that actually means Bitcoin has room to the upside to run higher, and we are just observing right now Bitcoin is breaking to the upside. We did not yet get a big retest towards 19 or 20,000. Instead, the price is continuing to the upside. So you actually clearly can understand there's a lot of FOMO coming into the market. A week is starting in the other side of the world and they don't want to miss on the current run up. Put it the other way, we understand right now standing here that this week has opened on a bullish note when the last week closed on a heavily bullish note. Now, to keep this here in mind, last week when we closed the candle like this here back in November, that was from the FTX collapse. Right now, the market has actually already digested the entire news scenario and the market is actually moving to the upside. The market has already raised that panic and it is coming out of this consolidative pattern. Meaning you really had the downside, you consolidated here, you broke to the upside, which is clearly bullish. Now, for the same, which is Bitcoin on the bullish note, historical trend lines and patterns are still valid. We are just waiting for this to come above the 200-day moving average on a weekly. Now, for XRP, you have a long way to come back. And as we develop this price, we will monitor that. But on the other side of this, we do see there's a lot of different projects which is getting attention right now for the right reason or for the wrong reason, but it is actually getting attention for one reason: the World Economic Forum. Now, for XRP and other assets, they have already highlighted how they play a role in the new infrastructure of money. Whether we like them or not, this is right now happening in Davos. There's a lot of conspiracy, there's a lot of things, reality, which is happening there. But one thing which we all understand is that central banks are actually preparing to do something because they are running in loss, record loss, right? So here we actually get the narrative of S&P will shrink balance sheet after record loss. That's coming from the Citigroup. So the central banks are having issues, which means it's not their money, they just print money. It's your assets, it's your value. So if you are losing money now, in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, in 9 months' time, when the rates are actually really digesting into the market, you will see a lot of collapses. It can be in the mortgage market, it can be in anything which touch the debt for the retailers, because they kind of easily forgive the loans for the corporates, but not for the retail. We have seen that back in 2009, how things really collapsed. Now, we are really looking at things changing really quickly. When you come in the market and look at the market and say, like, okay, the market has some room to the upside, but on the other side, the economy does look like it's going deep down. Now, it does not actually make much sense because, the stock market should be a function of how the economy is doing or how those companies are doing. Dow Jones is like, the accumulation of all the 30 companies. But if that company itself is not doing great, how can the market go up? That is where this disconnect exists in the market. You look at this and you're like, okay, that does not make sense. Fine. You actually zoom a little bit out and look for what happened back in 2020, 2021, 2022. We saw the market going up even though the economy was doing bad. We had lockdowns, companies were shutting down, businesses were having hard time, but the market went up. And most likely, that's what we're going to see. Instead of spending money in the economy, now you don't have to spend money in the economy, or you don't have much opportunities for anyone who is having that little cash aside. They are going to invest in different assets. And that is what we are observing right now. We broke to the upside, we came back, we retested, now we are bouncing. This is actually historical trend where you come back to the 50-day moving average, bounce from there to make a new highs. If that's happening here in the Dow Jones, you are going to see that following in different indexes. So here in the Nasdaq, you have not yet got that breakout pattern, but we are waiting for that. When we get the death cross to the downside, the 50 to the 200, we usually understand, okay, that does show you we have a bottom. Because if you look at dollar, the time you got the death cross, you made the bottom. Now you can zoom out, you can look at the last time. Before that, you crossed to the downside, you made a death cross, but what happened? You made the local bottom. So on a bullish trend, when you get the death cross, it is kind of signaling you that the bottom is in. Because there are stocks which are still trending higher, the markets are slowly becoming stronger. Now coming back into the crypto to take the same narrative, we do see we are testing this resistance. We have not yet broken to the upside for XRP. We need to do a PowerPoint for 5 to get a confirmation that we are breaking to the upside. But again, you come into the market and you're here in the market watching, like there's a lot of different assets even on an hourly basis doing great. Now, if you are looking at each of them, say this is engine, we'll actually just take engine for that matter and actually look like on a macro, what does this asset show you? So here, it actually gives you the narrative like, okay, even in last bear market, now this is important, it was trending to the upside. Not a lot of coins had this kind of bullishness during a bear market. Great. Now, it went up in the wave one structure. It actually did better than a lot of different assets. And here you are. You're actually making a pattern which is right now breaking to the upside. So that's a falling wedge, which historically breaks to the upside for majority of the times, maybe 65%. And then this is your resistance zone. So you literally have a 2x run to the upside to actually hit this region. So you come here, this is going to be your mark, say 150 towards like 170%, and there your resistance ranges. Fine. Now, as the RSI suggests you, one thing is for sure, buyers are not backing out. The RSI suggests you we are breaking out from a trend which has been from this long, which means probability still suggests you may break this level with time and test this level. Now that means you have a room in the market right now which suggests you can run up close to 10x in this asset, which is in first 100. So it's not a small micro medium cap, it's actually a big cap coin showing you like, okay, I have interest in running up, I have room to the upside, but not a lot of people will actually get in. Now that's a weekly chart. Now when you actually go into a daily chart of that, you see like, okay, the daily 200-day moving average is here. We have a little bit room. We may slow down there, but we need to actually monitor how the volume is changing. Because right now when you zoom in, you see, okay, we did not have any volume. We're slowly getting volume. We need to see if that is consistent. If we see more and more people coming in, then that's kind of a certain thing like, okay, the market is starting to believe that this asset can go higher. So now taking the same aspect into XRP, the volume which we had here in September was comparatively much higher than what we have right now. So still, the market is not actually saying the SEC case is going to get closed soon. And the market is not showing you that there is a ton of new money coming in. But yes, you literally go into the market and you want to actually see what's the trading volume. Because that involves like the buyers, the sellers, everything in between. And you're looking at this saying, okay, the volume dropped. We were kind of close to 2.5 billion. And right now we are at 680 million. So we actually saw a lot of money leaving that asset. So if we break here, we will observe that there is going to be a lot of money coming back in. Because the last time we saw that, a couple of days back, is when we were breaking through this level. Now, we need to break this, which is 0.44. So I think that with the break of 0.43, 0.44 level, we will see massive volume coming in, which will validate we are again really getting a strong breakout here. So until then, it's really patience. You are here, you have been here through the hard times, and now it's more and more like patience. Next 3 months to 6 months may actually change everything you saw in last 1.5 years to the downside. And then a couple of months after that, you are literally looking for big numbers. So all you need right now is to be in the right assets and to be patient. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have another 5 more minutes, please do visit this channel. You can get value. So that's it for today, guys. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.